fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Welcome to What the Fuck Are You Reading with Kali and Kaci,
a podcast and book club for all of the book lovers and shit talkers.
Hey, Kaci.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm really good. I'm beat, but I'm good.
Yeah, you were very busy over the weekend.
Yes, I threw Bryce's little cousin a graduation party, or I played party planner. It was big and it was a lot, and I'm exhausted.
I can only imagine. I slept the entire weekend. Literally, 16 hours a day.
That actually sounds so fun. That is one of my favorite hobbies is sleeping, and I haven't gotten to do that in about 21 months.
Which happens to correspond with the age of your child. Is there a coincidence?
Yep. Oh, not one single.
Okay, so you have a story for us about what the fuck happened.
Yes. Okay, so this is from one of our listeners and book club fuckers. And so I'm not going to say names, but I'm going to read the story. So it says...
And I haven't heard this, by the way.
Oh, okay. Back when me and my husband were first dating, we went to Kaylee's first wedding. When we got back to Evans, my husband was going to shower and change because he was coming with me to Maryville. So his mom's house is split level, so you walk in downstairs and the living room/kitchen are upstairs. He was showering downstairs and I was in the living room just watching TV, waiting on him. His mom had a little Boston Terrier called Sweet Pea, and me and her chilling on the couch when she looks down the hallway to my left to where some bedrooms are, including his mom's room. Then she gets up and starts barking down the hallway. I'm thinking we woke his mom and stepdad up and the dog can hear them. And it's about 1 a.m. I tell her to stop barking, but she just keeps going. He finally comes upstairs and I tell him that Sweet Pea won't stop barking. She's going to wake everyone up. Then he proceeds to tell me that no one else is home but us. So what the fuck was she barking at? Turns out they have been seeing weird things in their house for years. The house was built by his grandparents and their ashes were spread on the property as well as it being near Native American land. He even has a friend that stayed one night and refused to ever stay over after the cabinets opened and closed all night long. I think that's crazy. I think whatever it was checking me out to see who I was. It/they apparently are good with me and my girls now because we don't have any issues and are never scared when we stay there.
Oh
That's
my
so
gosh.
creepy. And it reminds me how many creepy stories we have from living in the trailer next to the cemetery on Mom's property.
Yes, and yeah, I don't know if you ever experienced, anything out by the old cemetery, like to set y'all up. Like this is in the corner of the woods. There's like a field, and then immediately behind the field, which is surrounded by wood, is this tiny graveyard that had all of the dates on it are from like the 1800s. There are children.
Twins named Emma and Ella Carter, which I think is crazy.
Yes, so very creepy, but it was a favorite pastime of me and my friends to go, explore the cemetery in the middle of the night whenever we were, preteens and very into the paranormal.
Okay, that's so funny because I did not know that about you, but when I was a preteen, that was, my big flex. People would come over and I'd be like, "Y'all wanna go see the graveyard?" And every single one of my friends that ever stayed with me has been to the graveyard in Maryville behind Mom's property.
We had plans to, dig up some graves and stuff. I'm glad we didn't fuck with that, but
We didn't, you freak.
I know who this What the Fuck Happened story came from, and she has other, paranormal activity stories in her family, too.
She finished her email off by saying, "I have other stories about things that have happened, one to me and some to other people if you want to hear them." So, yeah, hey, when you hear this, we want to hear them. Email us some more shit.
We are going to be talking about Dante by Sadie Kincaid. And we haven't done this before, but I felt the need to like add some trigger warnings to this episode
Okay.
just in case. So there is talk of sexual assault, emotional abuse, violence, murder, kidnapping, and of course, there is some explicit sexual content. I mean, this is smut. This is
Woo,
smut
woo,
smut.
woo! Let's go.
So we can jump right into it. So the prologue opens up to Dante, age 24, and he's with his father and his brother Lorenzo. Lorenzo and his dad are arguing because Lorenzo does not want to marry the woman who has been chosen for him. Like, his dad thinks that Lorenzo is not going to get a say in the matter, and Lorenzo is not having it.
Okay, so like arranged
So
marriage type of situation?
basically, like something to like better the family's relations with other mafia families.
Okay, okay.
Um, so it's not like a religious thing. It's like, what can we do to improve our family's power and status?
Okay.
So the father's name is Salvatore Moretti, and he is the head of the Cosa Nostra, which is their mafia family. Lorenzo is the oldest son, and he was born to take over this legacy. Dante is second in line. So Lorenzo is in love with this other woman, and he does not want Nicole Santangelo for a wife, who the dad is saying, like, you're marrying this woman, period.
These are such mafia, like, Italian names.
Like Graciana.
That's what I was about to say. That's
Casey's
what I was
last
about
name
to
is
say.
Graciana, so she probably comes married straight into a mafia family.
Yes. So, Bryce has cousins that were actually I don't know, I'm kinda scared to say this, put this out into the universe, that were actually, like, investigated for JFK's murder, like, being in conspiracy to murder JFK, and they are from Sicily, and they are the Benedettas are their last name.
Okay, well, I would just like to say that they live Bryce and Casey live like at least 2 hours from me, and like don't come to my house if you start investigating them. So, anyway, Lorenzo has fallen in love with Anya Norikov, and she is Russian. And period. That's who he is having. That's who he's marrying. There is no question about it. He is in love with her.
Okay.
Since Lorenzo has refused, Dante is going to have to be the one to marry Nicole and take over the family empire. Not that he wants to, but it's like, okay, well, like the first son is not acting right. So we're going to skip over him and move on to the second son, who will hopefully behave as a mafia son should.
Mhm.
So we skip to 6 years later and we meet Kat. Kat arrives home and notices that her front door is slightly ajar. And she knows she left it locked. Like, she doesn't live in a good neighborhood. She does not just randomly leave her door unlocked like I do.
Mhm.
And she's worried that her older brother might be in there looking for money. There's a black SUV in the street, and there's no way that the brother could afford that. Like, brother's a piece of shit. Like, he's probably riding around on a bicycle or walking or something. Like, he does not have a black SUV. So a month ago, her brother showed up needing a place to stay, and he hung around for a couple weeks. Then he's took all her money and ran off.
Oh, what the fuck?
So, what a piece of shit, okay? Like, I don't always have the best relationships with all of my siblings, but I can tell you right now, like, they have never stolen from me. I would make their life fucking hell if they did. So, brother's name is Leo, and he sounds like just an absolute gem of a person. So, she grabs a baseball bat and starts making her way through the house. And when she gets to the kitchen, there are two men in suits sitting at her table. They're covered in tattoos and have dark hair and beards, and like already kind of sounds like my type, TBH.
Oh my
So
goodness.
they know her name. One says, "You must be Katarina." And she just throws the bat at him. Like, she doesn't try to like swing it. She just like, "Rawr!" Like throws the bat and takes off running. And she's trying to get to her bedroom where she has a bolt on the door. And she is just not fast enough. So they grab her, bring her to the kitchen, and sit her down to ask her some questions. So they ask her where her brother Leo is, and she tells them that she doesn't know, which they don't believe, but I think that's actually the truth. Like he stole her money and took off. She
Mhm.
doesn't know where he's at this moment. So Max and D, that's what they're calling him at this point, continue to question her, and they're getting the same answer. She does not know where Leo is. D lets her know that he is Dante Moretti. The Dante Moretti Mafia. So the name already means something to her. She is very familiar with this family, as everyone is in the
Okay.
city. They're in Chicago, by the way. So also, they let him know that Leo owes the Morettis a lot of money and they expect it back. He says they'll have to take something of value to Leo, and the only asset that Leo has is Katarina herself. So Leo owes them $250,000. If
Ton
they
of a bitch.
found, that's a lot of fucking money. Like,
That
you're
is a
not going to get
lot of
that,
money.
like, working your 9 to 5, or at
No.
least I'm not. So if they found Leo, they would kill him, but they just can't find him. So what are they planning on doing to Katarina?
Oh, God.
So Kat knows who Max is now. Maximo DeMarco is the enforcer for the mafia. Dante is known for slaughtering his fiancée and her whole family the night before his wedding. So we started off the prologue that Dante is fixing to marry this Nicole person, and then now we find out 6 years later, and he had slaughtered her and her whole family the night before. So maybe he didn't want to marry her either. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh my Jesus, I can't wait to find out why he did that.
So Dante tells her he's willing to come to some kind of agreement. And I think it's going to involve his dick because,
Okay.
like, who wants to place bets right now that he has some kind of monster sized dick? Like, who
Third
wants
leg is how it's gonna be described.
to? Yes, I just want one of these smutty books to be like, and here it came, popped out. It was 4.5 inches long.
A little below average, some might say.
So, Kat tells them that she's not going with them, not under any circumstances, but they just start gathering her things together anyway. And Kat ends up in the SUV. Okay, they win this argument.
Yeah, wasn't even
She
thinking anything other than that.
So she is leaving with the two men. Maximo doesn't know why he's taking her instead of killing her, but Dante's the boss, so whatever. Dante doesn't really know why he's doing it either. And I said, I know why. It's her titties.
I was about
I
to say
can
she
tell you
must be
why.
hot.
Big titties make men stupid. So it mentioned that her titties were like trying to bust out of her shirt, and that's why they took it. I'm sure that's why they put her in the car.
Yep.
So he checked into Kat before showing up at her house. He did a little bit of research on her, and she was a nurse. She worked for 3 years and then quit. And I'm like, well, I can tell you why, because nursing fucking sucks. Like, I would like to work as a nurse for 3 years and then quit, but I'm 10 years in and can't seem to get out of the shit.
Hey, but when you worked in the ER, you quit real quick.
3 years. That's how
3
long I
years.
fucking did it. 3
Yep.
years. So she quit. She moved from a nice apartment into a poor neighborhood and started cleaning offices at night instead. And, like, I'm sure that there's some other reason, but, like, nursing can make you want to do that kind of shit also. So they pull up to Dante's mansion, which has a wing for him and a wing for his brother and his wife. But Lorenzo is not living there right now. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, there won't be anybody there to hear Kat scream because,
Yep.
like, where's Lorenzo? So the housekeeper, Sophia, greets them at the door and shows Kat to her room. And Max reminds Dante that his father is coming for dinner, which he had forgotten about. So Max and Dante are best friends, and their fathers were best friends until Max's father was murdered when he was 14. And Max lived with Dante's family after that. So he's basically a brother to them.
Mhm.
Dante visits Kat in her room and tells her she'll be staying there until she works off her brother's debt. Her job will be notified and her house will be maintained until she returns. It is still unclear what she will be doing to pay off the debt. Like, you gonna be a housekeeper?
Okay.
No, I have an idea what you gonna be doing.
Ugh.
She tells him she is not having sex with him, and he says he doesn't force women to have sex with him, which is a relief, honestly, because
Honestly.
that's where I thought we were going with this. There's some kind of backstory with the fiance Nicole, so like they allude to just some weird happenings. So I wonder what like actually happened to her.
Yeah.
Dante tells Kat that she's free to roam the house with the exception of his study. I'm like, well, I wonder what the fuck he keeps in there.
Yeah, well,
Dead
shocker.
bodies? So he also tells her if she tries to escape, he'll hand her over to his men to do with as they please. So, like, he
Ooh.
sounds like a real fucking gentleman.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Okay, I'll listen."
Okay, I'll do what you say. What you want? You want me to do your laundry?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to iron your shirts? So, and where is Lorenzo? Like, Dante alludes to some regret regarding him, but I don't know what that's about either.
Okay.
So, Dante's father, Salvatore, comes for dinner with him and Maximo. Kat is not invited to join, not that she wants to, but Salvatore asks him if he got the money from Leo Evanson, Kat's brother. And so, no, I mean, like, they haven't made any progress on that.
Mhm.
So Leo stole the money by cheating in this high stakes poker game against one of Salvatore's buddies and walked away with the $250,000. So
Damn. And that's when he
he,
disappeared?
well, I think he showed up at Cat's for a while, but yeah, like he started laying low after he took that money.
Oh
And
my
I'm thinking, like,
gosh.
with $250,000, like, why the fuck are you stealing from your sister? Like, that's
For
not enough for
real.
you to, like, go do something with your life, like, start
Yeah,
over.
absolutely.
I mean, it's at least a down payment on a house and a car. Shit. Like, then you could get a job and, I mean, you're gonna be running from the mafia for your whole life, but it's something. So, Salvatore is pissed that Dante didn't get anything out of Cat. Like, it makes him look bad. And Dante explains that he may not have gotten money, but he has her. So Salvatore thinks that maybe they're getting somewhere, like Dante's going to torture her or something. But instead, he just says that she's going to work for him as a nurse. Okay.
Make it make sense.
Yes. Like she is going to be a private nurse in the Moretti household.
Okay.
They're still going to look for Leo, though. Like, they're not
Uh-huh.
done with Leo. So, Daddy Salvatore wishes he had made Lorenzo the head of the Cosa Nostra instead of Dante. Lorenzo is more brutal. But he had to punish Lorenzo for not, marrying who he wanted and listening
Uh-huh.
to what he said. So, whatever. The Moretti family makes their money in a few different ways. They take a percentage of anything illegal that comes into the city. So, like drugs or whatever,
Okay.
and they take a cut from the casinos and the strip clubs in return for protection. So, like, they are kind of like bodyguards of sorts or whatever.
Okay, I was a
And,
little confused what you meant by that, so okay.
hmm so to keep the IRS off their backs, though, they do have legit businesses too.
Uh-huh.
So they
Like
have money
money.
coming in from all over.
Yeah, some money laundering shit.
So Kat decided to be a nurse because her mom was a nurse, and after losing her mom in a car wreck at 15, she decided that she wanted to work in the emergency room. Something made her quit after 3 years, though, but she has not revealed what that is.
Okay.
So the next morning, Kat ventures downstairs looking for breakfast and encounters Dante in the kitchen, shirtless, which, whew, he sounds super hot.
Yeah,
He's like all muscles and tattoos,
that's what I
and
figured.
she throws a little fit about being imprisoned, but he does not fucking care. She wants to call her cousin, which is her only other living relative other than her brother, and he tells her that if she behaves, like that she can call her occasionally, like once a week from his office. So, how kind of him.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, man.
So 5 days pass and Kat ain't done shit but sit around and watch TV.
Oh,
Uh,
no, sounds terrible.
I know, like, don't kidnap me.
Ah, no.
So Dante comes in and tells Kat that he needs her now. One of his men has been stabbed and she needs to perform her little nursing skills on him.
Okay. She's not a surgeon,
So
though, but okay.
that's what I said, like, okay, there's only so much a nurse can do without, like, a surgical team, like
Uh-huh.
X-rays, the right equipment, but okay, like, let's just get her. She hasn't even been nursing in I don't know how long. She was a nurse for 3 years, and now she's just expected to stitch up a stab wound. Dante tells her he just needs her to stitch him up, which is not in a nurse's scope of practice, by the way, in case anyone nurses don't stitch people up, but, maybe in this world they do. Cat
In this
gives
fictional story, they do.
Mhm. So Kat gives Lenny, the stab victim, some morphine and she stitches him up. And Lenny kind of starts hitting on her after the morphine gets in his system and he quits crying like the titty baby gangster that he is. And Dante does not like that at all. Like he has already got a thing for Kat.
Mhm. Yeah, she's got big tits.
So she got big titties. Kat has a sense of fulfillment after being useful. She hasn't gotten to use her nursing skills in a while. So she's like, "Oh, okay, like that feels good. Like I get to like actually be important over here for a little bit."
Yeah.
And Lenny, the guy she stitched up, he's actually second in command to Dante and he's his cousin. So Kat changes into a t-shirt after she's done being a nurse. Only a t-shirt. She can't find any fucking pants. She's just wearing a t-shirt.
Okay. What the fuck?
She goes downstairs to find something to eat, and Dante walks in the kitchen to find her just in this t-shirt. Okay? And Lenny is in there too. And Lenny is trying to sweet talk her. Um, Dante tells Lenny to keep his fucking hands off of her and then he chokes him.
Oh my
So
god.
he's already not playing. Like, and I'm like, calm down. Like, she fucking hates you too.
Yeah.
Like, Kat does thank Dante because she has made it clear that she does not want to be a plaything to any of his men. Like, she is
Mhm.
very afraid of someone attacking her or something happening that, like, she doesn't want to happen. So then Dante gets all jealous and asks her whose shirt it is because it's obviously too big to be hers. And it's an ex boyfriend's shirt. And he's all like, "You're walking around my house in
Oh
another
my
man's
god.
clothes."
How toxic.
Plus, like, y'all fucking kidnapped her. Y'all packed her shit.
Yes.
Like, what else is she supposed to wear? And, like, you don't even know her and you're concerned about her sleepwear. Like, she's trying, which, I mean, I do think the bitch should have put some pants on before she went downstairs to the kitchen, but, like,
Period.
anyway. Then he makes her take it off. He makes her take the shirt off
Oh
right
my
there in the
god.
kitchen. She is butt ass naked and says, "You're a goddamn asshole, Dante." And yeah, like, I would be so uncomfortable. Like, you don't even know him except that he
No.
kidnapped you. He gives her his shirt right there. And it's a
What?
button down. And there's no way I would be wearing a button down shirt to bed. Let me just tell you. Like, that sounds horrible.
That sounds horrible.
So then the fucking psycho goes outside to Lenny with a pair of pruning shears. You know what I'm talking about? Pruning shears?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And makes Maximo hold him and he chops off his finger for touching her. You just made her stitch this motherfucker up for a stab wound. And now you're going to cut his finger off?
And that's his cousin.
Yeah, and second in command.
What the actual fuck?
What the fuck is wrong with this man?
What?
I don't think
You
he even really touched her. He was just flirting with her.
This
So
book is already, like, the perfect example of the name of our podcast. Like, what the fuck are you reading?
so then he cuts off another one.
What the fuck?
This man just lost 2 fingers just for like maybe brushing up against Cat's ass a little bit.
Okay, he's, like, really kinda freaking me out.
I'm gonna need you to wake up a little bit. Like you look dazed.
I'm listening to your story, bitch. You're a good storyteller. Hop off
so
my stack.
message delivered, Dante. Cat is yours. Cat is nobody else's. Nobody wants to get their fingers fucking chopped off with pruning shears, which sound like they wouldn't even be very sharp. And
No,
now,
that
like, I
sounds
think he's not gonna bleed
horrible.
out or like something ain't gonna happen. Like, we gonna get Kat to come back out and do some more
That's what I
nursing?
was about to ask, like, are you gonna cauterize those wounds, or, like, what are we
Mm,
doing?
they don't talk about it anymore, so I don't know what happened to Lenny or his hand, but he's
He
walking
just
around like this. He's walking around like,
I love you in
uh
sign language.
uh-huh. So, Kat's a psycho too because she's in her room feeling, like, super empowered and turned on by wearing Dante's shirt.
Oh, what
So,
even the fuck?
there's that. So the next morning, she has a little bit of her sense back and is embarrassed about what happened, so she avoids him all day, but he leaves her a pile of white t shirts to sleep in since she's so fond of wandering around the house in men's shirts. And she gets fucking butterflies over it.
Okay, so there's something wrong with both of them,
She she is addicted to toxic men. That's what
apparently.
I don't know. Like, I have a long history. In fact, we didn't talk about, like, the story from the beginning, the what the fuck happened. She said that she was just coming from my first wedding. I'm thinking like, "Fuck, I bet that, like, that night sucked." Like, I hope you got a good story out of that.
Yeah, she went home and your marriage's demons followed her home. That was the party favors that y'all sent home with everybody.
That's the party favors we sent home, like, yes, ghost followed her to her mother-in-law's. So, she goes downstairs. Kat goes downstairs in one of these T-shirts and runs into him in the kitchen again, and she doesn't act grateful for the shirts, and they bicker, and she tells him she hates him, and he's like, "You might hate me, but I bet if I slide my hands in your panties right now, you're wet for me."
Oh, okay.
And he's right, by the way. Like, she's
Uh,
really into him, kidnapper or not.
we're not even far enough into this book for her to be into him yet.
Oh, she's into him, and she's like, "Well, you'll never know." And he's like, "Bet you I will," and pushes her into the refrigerator and sticks his hands in her panties.
What the fuck? This is some, like, Stockholm syndrome shit. Is that right? Is that the correct terminology?
That's the correct term because I've looked up a few Goodreads reviews. I'll
Uh-huh.
save them, but, it's like, that plays into one of them. So, this is absolutely ridiculous, but it is fun to read, by the way.
Uh-huh.
I would like to also point out that she does not tell him to stop. Like, she is consenting. I wanna make that clear because I don't wanna read anything where there is not consent
Uh-huh.
involved. Like, I don't wanna talk about that, but, like, she is into this.
Yeah,
Just
uh-huh.
don't come for us. Like, she is into it. And he's like, "Is this all for me?" Nobody in these stories ever has a problem with vaginal dryness. Have you ever noticed that?
No,
Like,
big digs
it's
and
like
wet puss.
water spouts, okay? And
Jesus.
she's
Okay,
like,
so I'm sitting here thinking about how the fact that if he was, like, really ugly and creepy, this would be a completely different story, but it's because
this would
he's
be a
sexy.
Dateline. This would be a
Yes,
Dateline if if it was a different if he looked different,
yes,
okay? But he's not. He's tall, he's dark, he's handsome, he's got tattoos and muscles and beards,
and
like,
he's over a mafia like, he's a mafia boss.
oh, yeah, like, I don't know, I've this is my first Mafia book, but I'm kinda into it, like, I'm gonna read the rest of the series, I can tell you that. So, anyways, Cat's like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Soon, kitten." And I was like, "Kitten?" I've never been called kitten in my life, like,
Not a fan, not a
that is
fan.
not really working for me. So then, as quick as he started this, he stops. He puts his fingers in his mouth, as they always do, and walks away. Like, okay, then. So Kat just stays in the kitchen to get herself a little snicky snack before bed.
Okay.
So the
These
next
books
day,
are just like the past couple of books we've read are just convincing me that like maybe I'm not having sex correctly because there are several parts that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
well, there's just a lot of kinks, I think, that like
Yeah.
common kinks that I didn't know were as common as they are. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Mhm.
I don't know. Imma try out some shit on Burke tonight, see what he thinks. Burke is, like, actually the most
I I'm sorry, you have absolutely lost your fucking mind talking to me like that. I will
I was
end
just gonna
this
say,
recording right now.
Burke is the most straight-laced person, like, you could ever meet in your life. Like, he would be so appalled at
If he read
this.
this
He would
book.
be way more appalled than me by this shit, I can tell you right now.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
So, the next day, Kat avoided Dante most of the day, but then went back down to the kitchen in a t-shirt again to tease him a little bit.
Mhm.
And you're playing with fire, and I think that she likes it. I think she wants to play with fire a little bit.
Mhm. She wants to get burned.
Mhm. And it works, but he does not take her right there in the kitchen, not yet. Maximo comes to get Kat from her room late that night because somebody's been shot. So now not only is the nurse fucking stitching up stab wounds, now she got to deal with gunshot wounds. Like that's just normal run of the mill shit.
Okay, she was a nurse on Grey's Anatomy is what it seems.
I can tell you that I dealt with a stab wound and it took a fucking team of people,
Mhm.
okay, for that person to survive.
Is that the
So
man that said he was too gangsta to die?
no, but that one was a good one. I'm too gangster to die. Like, motherfucker, you about to die. Like, you bleeding. And you bleed fast. And when you bleed, it's harder to get an IV because, like, you don't have as much volume in your veins,
Uh-huh, they're not
like,
bulging.
right. So anyway, yeah, too gangster to die. That was one of my patients.
That's one of my favorite nursing stories that you have.
So Mitch is who got shot. I don't know who the fuck Mitch is, but she digs the bullet out, no problem, stitches him up. He's on his way. And as she's finishing up, Dante comes in covered in someone else's blood. Okay. So he strips down to his boxers and then they argue about whether they should have sex or not. And he's all like, we definitely should. And she's like,
Mhm.
but we can't. But she wants to.
Playing
And
hard to get for 30 seconds.
okay, now, or if you're ready for it, this is our Read It and Moan scene 1. This is our official first smut scene. Like,
Oh my
that shit
god,
in
I
the
don't know if
kitchen
I'm
against the
ready.
refrigerator, that was just a little foreplay, okay?
Okay, don't make eye
So,
contact with me while you tell me.
he makes her a deal. He says if he can make her come in 2 minutes or less, she goes to bed with him. And she's like, win-win. I get to come, and no way he could do it that fast. And I'm like, okay, yeah, honestly, same. Like, you're going to have to put the time in with me, babe. So
Hope
I'll
you
skip to the
stretched
point.
before this.
He uses his hands and he wins the bet. Okay. He gets her to come in less than 2 minutes. Then he doesn't wait to get her upstairs, but pulls out his surprise giant cock and
Not yeah.
goes to town stretching her practically virgin hole. So, y'all thought Icebreaker was smutty, but we are just getting started on Dante.
Jesus.
Then he takes her up to his bed, has her again, but not from behind. That is her absolute no. She says she does not like to do that. And she has this big scar on her back where someone carved a word into her skin and then she carved out the word. So what the fuck
What?
is that about? Like somebody carved a word into her lower back.
Okay. I mean, at least I'm kind
Because
of
of it,
excited to have some plot.
she doesn't like doggy style because of it.
Okay.
So, whatever it was, it changed her life. There was before the incident and after the incident.
Okay.
So, our Read It and Moan scene 2 happens when she gets out of the shower the next morning. It does not take her long to forget that she has a no doggy style rule, okay? Because like literally the next day she is apparently watching herself in the mirror makes it easier to happen, okay? Cuz they just get after it in front of the mirror. So, the night that Mitch got shot, Dante and Maximo were at a party and 3 guys showed up and started shooting. But no one knows who the intended target was because there were a lot of people there and now those 3 men are dead. So they're not getting any answers out of them. So I'm not sure if this is going to be relevant to the story, but Dante had killed his ex-fiance's father and I think also her brother after discovering something awful about them. So we don't know
Tell me,
what
tell me,
yet.
tell me.
It's
Damn.
just kinda it's just alluding to it.
Okay.
But this was all approved by the fiance's maternal grandfather, who seems like another big player in the mafia scene.
Okay.
So there's more sex. There's lots more sex. I can't go through every sex scene because you would literally get bored. So if anything really inventive comes up, then I'll share it with you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So Kat starts her period, but don't think that's stopping Dante.
Yeah, he
He
seems the
rips that
type.
condom out and goes to town bareback this time. So, and are you surprised at how much we talk about condoms in these smutty books?
Yes,
Like,
actually.
they have so much focus on the safeness of sex, which is refreshing, interesting. I did not expect
Yeah.
that in nasty
Yeah, I
books.
guess I didn't really think about it, but now that you say it, this is the 3rd or 4th one that we've talked about that they have mentioned it, so yeah.
Yeah, they really focus on that. So, however, Kat and Dante are no longer worried about safe sex because even after she gets off her period, they are going condomless now and she needs a plan B pill. So, how romantic.
Mhm.
So, they're doing it on his desk in his office when someone knocks and says, "Sorry to disturb you, but Joey's here." Like, who the fuck is Joey? So, Joey is actually a woman. It's Dante's little sister. She
Okay.
was staying with Lorenzo and Anya, but says that she'll take this prison over that prison. So
Okay.
these brothers are controlling over all the women in their life, like not just their romantic interest. Like they
Yeah.
also are very controlling over their sister. So she is rude as shit to Kat, and Dante is also like cold and rude while Joey's around. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all are having sex on every surface in this house, and now you're gonna be an asshole because your little sister showed up? Like, I'd be pissed. So, Lorenzo's pissed that Joey left without him even realizing it, but he's also just very distracted because his wife, Anya, is sick again. She has cancer and she's had like a
Oh,
relapse. So that's
that
where
sucks.
Lorenzo is. He's off with his wife trying to get her well.
Okay.
So Dante tells Joey about Kat paying off her brother's debt by working there, but Joey sees right through him. She guesses that they're fucking, but even more that he actually likes her. So Kat tries to lock him out of her room that night, but he tells her he'll kick it in if she doesn't unlock it.
Not toxic
So
at
she's
all.
not toxic at all, and so she opens it for him. She's still pissed at him, but he climbs in bed with her anyway. He notifies her that from now on, she sleeps in his bed and that he's sending a doctor to put her on some birth control. You don't
Okay.
just fucking tell people what they're gonna do with their reproductive health. Like,
When you're a kidnapper, I guess you do.
birth control makes some people lose their fucking mind. And no, I like nobody could tell me that they were putting me on birth control. I would lose my shit. So, Kat has a nightmare about her assault. We still don't have the details, but she wakes up to Dante cradling her in his lap. She hasn't been having nightmares whenever he cuddles her while they sleep, but she was pissed off at
Shocking.
him and they weren't cuddling, so she woke up terrified again. The next morning, Kat runs into Joey in the kitchen while she's eating breakfast, and Joey insults her about how Kat has landed a pretty sweet deal getting to stay there and take advantage of Dante, but Kat just maintains that she has no choice in the matter. And Joey offers to help her leave and go into hiding. Kat does not take her up on it, but I think it's in the back of her mind now.
Yeah, like, now she could get out if she absolutely needed to.
Guess Kat never took the Plan B pill because 3 weeks go by and Dante is only paying her any attention when he wants sex, and she secretly takes a fucking test and she is pregnant.
Oh my god, that sucks!
I did not see the book going this way, to be
No, me
honest.
neither.
So I think that that would be a good stopping point
Yeah,
for us to continue the story next week.
okay.
Because, like, what the fuck? Kat's pregnant. Like, did
Yeah,
y'all
that's
see that coming?
insane. I did not at all.
So let me pull up real quick so I can tell you some of the Goodreads reviews that I read. And this one cracked me up. So we have to leave on this note. If I
Okay.
had $1 for every time Kat said she hated Dante, I'd be able to pay off her brother's debt myself. So,
That's a good one.
anyways, like, we will pick up the story again next week.
Okay,
Bye,
sounds good.
fuckers.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify.
Go like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, join our Facebook group, and follow us on Instagram.
The links to everything are available in the show notes.
And 5 stars only. If you have anything less, please turn your phone off and mind your business. Bye, fuckers.